Hello and welcome back to another episode of Two Guys Small Talk. I am TJ Wasiuk.
I'm Evan O'Neill, and with us today is a good buddy of mine. You know him from the group. He's a memer. Welcome to the show, Marc Rowell.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Today's episode is episode 19, Skype Sucks. It's been causing us issues since day one, so gotta find a new alternative, but that's why this episode is called Skype Sucks. But anyways, the topics we are going to cover today, of course, is, get to know Mark, Q&A with that. We'll be talking about the iPhone glass, Apple in general. We'll be talking about voter fraud, with tech news as well, culture, and whatever the fuck we want. So, without further ado, let's start the show. What's up, Mark?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
This is take two. All right. So we're very excited to have Mark with us today. Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself. You already told us that you're from Biloxi, that you live about 15 minutes away from the beach.
Yes.
That you came from Mendenhall, a real small town in the middle of nowhere.
Garbage.
And that you wanted better opportunities because you're an entrepreneur. You're a handyman. You can fix anything that's electronic. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Most other things, but mostly electronics, yes. So kind of had to start my own business out of high school. I didn't want to work at a grocery store or a restaurant. Fast food, to be specific. No hate toward anyone who does. I respect that. I just can't deal with the customers like that, as bad as the ones I get already are. So I started my own business, repairing phones and tablets out of my father's storefront, who did only computers, and we kind of launched them separately. It was a weird situation, but yeah.
It's okay.
Started my own business, ran that for about 6 years. 5 years. And then I got hired on at a place out of college because in Mendenhall, there's no business. So after that died down, just had to work for somebody. Got transferred down to Biloxi, and I left that place because my manager sucks ass. He cut me down to 25 hours a week and was stealing all my commissions. So I was like, I'm out of here.
So are you still in the electronic business, fixing products and whatnot?
Oh, yeah. The place I work at now is a much better place. We do way more work. I fix so much more things. I have so much more of an opportunity. I currently operate the store mostly by myself. I do the front desk and the tech repair about 90% of the time right now, and I'm fine with that. I mean, it gives me more to do. I'm not just stuck in the back waiting on repairs. I can actually sell things, talk to customers, things like that.
How many customers do you think you get weekly?
Weekly? Yeah. See, that's a hard one because it doesn't seem like a seasonal industry, but it very much is.
Okay.
Near the end of summer, you tend to get a lot of customers because everyone's taking their devices they broke over the summer and fixing them before school because they don't want to look bad. And then,
very true.
Yeah. And then coming into Christmas time, nobody gets anything fixed, and the tech business kind of dies down a lot. Because everybody's just getting new devices. They're like, I'm not going to fix that. I'm just going to get the new one. So it just depends. Well, as of lately, it's been crazy, though. I will say that.
I bet, because, there's so many new phones coming out now that people are excited for. You got, the new Samsung, the new iPhone that's going to be coming out in the fall or September, around there. Yep. Usually it comes around. But I have to say, so I have an iPhone 7, okay? I had an iPhone 6, but I decided not to sell it because it had water damage. So, you have to pay like $140 just to get that fixed. So there's no point of getting it fixed and trying to sell it. You're not going to get shit. So might as well just use it as a paperweight.
Exactly. Yeah, water damage isn't fun. I have to deal with enough of those on a daily basis living at the beach,
Oh, yeah. Well,
hey, I dropped my phone in the fucking water. Can you fix it?
No, it's like, so I dropped my phone in applesauce, and I didn't realize it was there for 15 minutes. Can you get the applesauce out of my phone? It doesn't do anything. I'm like, did you really?
What was this?
Yeah, it was in applesauce. How do you...
Oh my God.
It's hard to explain what people do to their phones until you actually open them. And they're like, oh, no, there's no water damage. The best one is when kids come in with their parents and they're like, their phone just turned off. I don't know what happened. Can you look at it? And then I open it up and you can just dump water out of it. It's so cool. I call up their parents and I'm like, hey, yeah, it was full of water. That's why it doesn't work. And it's not going to work anymore because it's all corroded. And then you hear them go, you dropped your phone in water? And they're like, thank you. You can keep it. And then they hang up. You never hear from them again.
Damn.
Because there's nothing they can do with it, nothing we can do with it.
Well, also, on the phones, you can tell just if there's just a little bit water damage, is those red marks, right? Those little strips around the phone. If that's red, I believe, that's when it shows water damage.
But at the same time, that's not always accurate.
Okay.
If you just shower with your phone in the bathroom, like a lot of Samsungs and iPhones, they just have those markers near the SIM card trays, the headphone jacks, and near the ear speaker. So just moisture coming in from the mist from the shower can say, hey, you got your phone wet. And then that, nullifies a lot of warranties on people's phones. So
Okay, so we asked you how many times you did the sex. You said a whole bunch of times, and we laughed.
A whole bunch of times.
You said you don't have any tattoos.
But I'm working on it.
But you wanted, what was it? What did you want on your arm?
I want to get the album cover for Daisy by Brand New wrapped around my upper left arm as a half.
That album makes me feel like a sweaty asshole.
Same, TBH.
Yeah, wasn't that like 2008, 2007 era?
I think
it was
it
like
came out
09.
09?
Yeah, it was 2009.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I bought it and I took it with me to Japan, and I was like, I don't like this. And then it grew on me like a tumor.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I know recently you started to get away from me, Mark, but Evan, you posted on Facebook the 21 things that
21
you
pilots?
miss. No, shut the fuck up. 21 things you miss about Japan or something?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
It was a decent list. Like, I got along with a lot of it. Some of it I didn't care for. Like on this list, one of the things was like little money trays, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You're supposed to put. They tell you that, but nobody does it because it's like a cultural thing. You're supposed to put your money
on a tray at the restaurant,
and then and then they take it, and then they return change to you, like in descending order with the coins being on top, so that way you can sit there and count it. But when it's such a cultural thing for us to either swipe our card or just hand something to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that a lot at restaurants.
I mean, I never used the fucking tray. I think I did once, and I wasn't supposed to be where I was. So,
well, at least you take your hat off when you're in the building.
Yeah. I normally do that. I don't take it off for the show because.
No, I meant for like restaurants. Because remember one time I was in the restaurant with you and Micah. You're like, TJ, take off your hat.
Yeah, dude, this shit's annoying. It's the most annoying thing. People with a hat at the table, like, take the fucking hat off.
I'm not used to wearing a hat, so when I do, I'm not sure of what the ways to.
Mark needs to wear a hat. He needs to get a haircut too.
You want to go get a hat? I got a sick ass Pokemon hat. I'll throw it on.
No, we ain't got time. We're doing the show.
So, anyways, let's roll into tech news. How about that? So, Mark, you wanted to discuss your gripes about glass on phones.
Yes, it's a nightmare and I hate it. It's not nearly as bad as whenever I first started messing with them. The original company I worked for, starting out, they were really bad at the back glass on S6s and S7s. Within the first 3 months, they finally figured out how to take them off. But if it's not cracked, you have to be extremely careful. The Edge phones are even worse because their backs curve even deeper. So trying to get around the corner of a metal frame that's curving without flexing a glass backwards can be a pain sometimes. As far as that goes, the new iPhone 8 looks like it's going to have glass back. That hasn't been verified.
Well, what if it's just? Hope not. I think I heard something about it's just going to be a piece of glass that's framed in. Yeah, and then you just like you just take out like 2 screws, and then it loosens up the frame, and then you can just take that off and then pull the glass off.
if that's more like the iPhone 4, it's still going to suck because the iPhone 4 was like that. But that phone had everything laid in on top of the screen. You had to fully disassemble the phone to get the screen out and replace it. So that phone, the iPhone 4 and 4S, take longer than any other iPhone to replace.
Was that you that was just complaining yesterday or today? I don't know. I saw somewhere it was like you can't get replacement home buttons anymore for the 7 and up.
For the 7 and 7 Plus, because they are basically just touch screens.
Yeah.
They're mini touch screens that have haptic feedback.
They're
and
not buttons.
On the 5S and up, any home button that's replaced on an iPhone no longer has Touch ID function because it's married to the logic board of the phone. So on a 7 and 7 Plus, the whole button is not physical, so it's completely married to the phone. If you replace that button, it doesn't click, it doesn't do anything.
Damn.
Yep.
So wow, that's really smart design, though, if you think about it.
To prevent third-party repairs.
Perspective, it's
I don't know
like,
about that, though.
Yeah.
I don't think they think about third-party repairs as being an issue.
Who cares?
You would think so, but that's why they did the board the way they did. That's why they put the screen on first and put everything in there, so nobody would want to do it. It just deterred people from home repair and taking it to repair shops, so they go straight to Apple. But also,
how many times does the home button break on you?
I've seen it quite a few times. It doesn't seem like something that happens regularly.
That's why they did it.
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah. They did that.
Because it breaks a lot.
Every 1 in 1,000.
So many people's iPhones, their home button's broken, though, I've seen.
That's just kind of because they get their screen replaced somewhere, and the people who replace it don't know what they're doing. I see that a lot. You would be surprised how many phones I open, and half the parts internally are missing. There'll be no plates on things, cables are unplugged. Had somebody come in earlier, they were... Exactly. They told me, my home button doesn't work. Can you look at it? And I open it, and the screen still had the plastic wrap on the back of it, which you're supposed to take off. That causes issues. Their home button wasn't plugged in, which is why it didn't work. And their screen was half unplugged because they were saying they were having problems touching one half of the screen. It's because it wasn't plugged in.
Sham jobs.
Yeah. So I asked her about that. She was like, a friend did that. I'm like, tell your friend to stop doing that.
But also to point out the reason for glass backs right now is for wireless charging. So it could be on a device and not have to be plugged in. That's the reason why they're doing that. Maybe to eventually not have a port. Possibly. As far as that goes, they do have magnetic ports on MacBooks. I could actually see Apple phasing out the port completely and just having some sort of a magnetic wireless charger either snap to the bottom of the phone or snap to the back. I don't know.
I can see that happening in the future.
In the new Macs, though, they're all USB-C. There's no more of the lock-ons anymore.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how the phone
goes. We'll see what they want to
do. It's Apple. There's no telling what they'll do, man. They got rid of a home button and made a fake one. I mean, there's no telling.
Yeah, but I forget because you can set the depth on it.
Yeah.
And on the that's only on the 7 Pluses, I think.
And the 7.
Yeah, it is on the 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Man. I just have the lightest one because I'm like, all right, that's okay.
Yeah, the other ones,
but the heavy ones, like,
I can feel my battery draining when you press it on the third one. You can feel it going down.
Dude, yeah, on the second one, it's hilarious because it reminds me of an old mechanical keyboard, and the third one, it's like kunk.
Yeah, it's like Godzilla's outside your bedroom,
like a hole puncher every time you press the button, dude.
Yeah.
It's
try that, TJ, when you get a chance. Just put it on the third in your options and click it. Yeah. It's insane.
I usually keep it on 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But also I wanted to about the iPhone and whatnot. It's not just them. It's just the whole tech industry.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, it's all a money grab. People always blame Apple or blame Samsung. No, it's not just one or the other. It's all of them.
It's both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
Moving on forward, Evan, you had a really interesting topic that I was not aware of until recently. Politics with Evan O'Neill.
I'm a pioneer. I'm an explorer. I'm a human, and I'm coming.
There's some voter fraud news coming out of the works around the end of July, beginning of this month.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Right. More and more cases of exposed voter fraud is coming to light. Like, I don't know if it's a scapegoat kind of route, but like there's a woman going to prison for 8 years and she's going to be deported afterwards because she was an illegal. First off, she was not a registered citizen, I don't think. And then she had voted for Hillary, or she had voted 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
She had voted 5 times. And it was like, I guess somebody defending her was like, it's okay, she only has a 6th grade education. She didn't know. And I'm like,
but, question.
What? How'd you get caught? You had to talk about it.
Did she go into depth how she voted more than once? Did you get to?
Yeah, I'd like to know that.
Okay, oh my gosh, guys! I have the voter ID laws point I was going to make. All right, while I looked that up, I'm going to talk about this. This is from Rasmussen Reports. This is dated August 10th. This said that Missouri had its first election this week after enacting voter identification laws, and officials say it went smoothly. Most voters continue to favor such laws, though slightly more now believe that they may be discriminatory. A new Rasmussen Reports National Telephone and Online Survey finds that 70% of likely U.S. voters still think voters should be required to show photo identification, such as a driver's license, before being allowed to vote. Just 25% disagree. And then there is a provided link to see how they did it. Now, that was just one small survey, but this is a company that went and surveyed people by calling them and then doing their own online thing. And I'm like, the point that I want to make here is that we do have voter fraud. We have people going to prison for not voting, or for voting too many times, for voting in multiple places. We have a woman that's going to jail because she had signed up dead people to vote, and then I think she went as far as to provide that information so that way that happened. I think that on a small scale, it's being presented as just like fringe issues, like only a couple of people are doing it and it's not really being talked about. Whereas, with all the number crunching that's been going on, trying to figure out how many fake votes there were, or how many, I won't say fake votes.
Did they call them
illegal?
Did they call them ghost votes? Is that what I read?
Yeah, ghost voting, and like these votes that shouldn't qualify. We're looking at around like 3.5 million voters, 3.5 million falsified votes. We've got a large portion of them happening in California that we're starting to find, and
they don't want to give it up.
Yeah, California still refuses to provide their voter information.
But the reason behind that, though, is because they don't want to release people's information, their personal information.
That doesn't.
That's what they're saying. That's the reason why they're not.
I get why they do why they're doing that, and it is a federal thing. But what a time! What a time for California to stand up and claim statism, and to fight back. We got people talking about that shit here in the South. Like, what you'll probably see is like white supremacists in the South want to secede. I'm like, no. I think there's probably a couple of them, but most of the people in the South want to secede because they're like, hey, we're not being represented. We have this shit going on the other side of the country. Like we have fake votes going on everywhere, fake voting. God, I hate to say fake voting because it's real voting.
It's real
voting.
Yeah.
But it's
let me ask this.
Voting.
It said that she voted 5 times for Hillary, correct? Do they have kind of an idea of the percentage of who voted for Hillary versus Trump? and if that affected the current presidential election at all.
Yeah, I did see a link for that. Maybe a week ago. I'll have to follow up. I'll have to follow up with an actual link. But that's how they were able to determine that there's large amounts of these falsified votes, was because the numbers weren't matching up. The numbers didn't make any sense. Gosh.
What?
Let's see. Okay.
Well, anyways, while you're looking that up, this is what I found on the DallasNews.com link. They reported that let me just give this expert. And the same cannot be said for the battleground states, in which electoral college votes can be decided by incredible narrow margins. Consider the multitude of ghost voters in Colorado. It's 159,373 ghost votes. Florida, 100,782. Iowa, 31,077. Michigan, 245,000.
Where are you pulling this from?
This was from the Dallas News article. It was titled, "America May Have 3.5 million more voters than eligible adult citizens."
Yeah, that's...
So I'll provide a link to that in the description if you guys want to read more about that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
I'm pulling up something right now from the Washington Times. This is from June, so I think what you're looking at is actually more accurate.
Okay.
But in June, this is from Washington Times, and it says, "Study supports Trump. 5.7 million non-citizens may have cast illegal votes." And I think whenever people argue against investigating voter fraud, or they say it's a waste of time, I don't think they understand that it's a fact of principle, and that's why you're doing this investigation, because things should be fair and balanced in a democracy. And like, if you were to ask me, I think everybody should go back to paper ballots, honestly.
For me, what I think actually, besides that, is online voting. I think we should have online voting. Like, you're registered with your state, you just log in with your state ID information, and you vote. That way you have more numbers, more people voting. They could just vote from the comfort of their home. What about
we would still have to have centers where people would go, people who don't have that.
Of course, that. You can offer that, but a majority of people that have internet connection and a computer or a mobile phone can vote on their phone or computer.
You're starting to sound like Microsoft now whenever they release the Xbox One. LOL, who doesn't have internet?
Right.
I mean, yes, that's true. That's why people are
always on.
That's why people are like, why are people still buying Blu-rays? Because they don't have internet, or they don't have a place where they can get internet from.
Or
no, my dad has.
Who knows?
My dad has internet, and he's like asking me about Blu-ray, and I'm like, Dad, don't get a Blu-ray player, man. Just get Netflix.
Just get a Laserdisc, man. That's where it's at.
I don't know. I like Blu-ray.
A Laserdisc.
I still buy Blu-ray movies.
Oh man, 3D Blu-ray movies. That was a good 6 months or so, right?
Oh, you bought those?
Yeah, my dad actually had a 3D TV because he got it for, I think it was $400, like a 65-inch 3D TV.
Do you know what my problem is? You know what my problem is? Is that I occasionally go to the Donald to see what those fucking dudes are doing, and I'm like, wow, you guys are crazy. And I'll see something, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to follow that, and then I forget to. I'm just so afraid to upvote anything, so that way I can just go back and check it. I'm afraid to save anything. I think people can see what links you have saved. I don't want people to think I'm a fucking alt-right.
Right. It's just because you want to read about it.
Yeah, I go everywhere, dude. Like Reddit's got a wide variety. I used to go to Poll a little bit too to see what those guys were talking about.
Yeah, they went kind of crazy recently.
They got banned from Twitter.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, the official poll Twitter page got shut down.
Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah, dude. In response to the Charlottesville incidents.
Yeah, speaking about that, that is not really a topic we want to discuss, just because there's so much to it. Fuck Nazis. Fuck anyone that's causing violence or causing issues with this country. Yeah. I wish there was a more peaceful way for us to deal with our issues. It seems like we're having some horrible civil issues, and also attacks, or not attacks, but possible attacks from North Korea. What the fuck is going on? Like, there's so much going on in this world right now. God. It's like,
it's been
my heart,
week.
Man.
It was, last week was a big week, so it's like,
it's so sad.
Our heads are still reeling. You know, man,
I'm still digesting it. You know,
I feel like both of what happened, everything that happened last week, is gonna like soon be forgotten because we'll have so much more to worry about.
No, it's so true. Because it keeps on piling and piling.
Country's gotten to. It's like, okay, this is extreme, and then look, something more extreme and more extreme, and it just keeps going, and it's off the scale at this point. It's like any day now we could be in World War III. We could have a race war. Hopefully not. I hope we can get all this settled.
I gotta shake
North Korea and here domestically.
I gotta shake my finger at China for being like, hey, we'll stand up for North Korea if you guys strike first. I gotta be mad. I gotta be mad about that.
If they strike first, we're not gonna do anything. It's all you. Like, what is that?
I think the reason for that is posturing. It's so that way they can sit there and still participate with UN, and to try to, I don't know, moderate US.
Yeah. So the arguments,
not sure if it's going to do anything,
that we have seen about North Korea, and America.
I have seen stupid supporters of North Korea.
So Evan and I have dealt with this firsthand. There's someone that we see quite a bit. Don't want to say their name. But they're saying that everything that we're seeing about North Korea is propaganda. It's all lies by the United States. However, how many people voted in the UN to say fuck you, North Korea?
It was unanimous. It was 15 to none.
All of them. 15-0, yep.
So everybody, what we're doing to Korea right now is kind of fucked, to be honest, because we are sanctioning them. We are kind of like grabbing them by the windpipe a little bit. We're threatening them. I
mean, I would be pissed.
But it's a dry fuck.
Well, yeah.
Dry fuck.
But at the same time, they have been like, hey, look, I've got a bigger missile. It can go further. Ooh, we're coming to get you.
Yeah, And then this person that we see supporting it, they're like, Korea has never done anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you can't say that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I watched the interview. I've seen Seth Rogen and James Franco go to North Korea. I know what happened.
I mean, just look at the North Korean slave camps movie or documentary that Vice did.
Exactly.
Look at Shane Smith's North Korea documentary. Look at those pieces, and you can see it's a fucking slave country. Come on.
Whatever the issue is, man. Like, I look at it and I'm like, they haven't overthrown this regime because they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because they can't, and I'm like, this regime is like, it's communism, dude. You know, it's like,
if you rise up, you get killed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the reason why we don't want them to be a world superpower or to possess, or at least a nuclear power, is because they are not like the rest of the global economy. Like, you can sit there and cry about like globalism or whatever, and jump on that Alex Jones train and be like, oh, well, the EU and Hillary are trying to take over, all that shit, whatever. Mm-hmm. But these guys legitimately don't need it. These guys don't need it, man.
They survived.
Like, we were scared. We were scared to shit whenever the USSR had it.
Yeah.
You know. So.
But then they were a lot bigger. You know.
Yeah, but still, we have to, like, everybody who has nukes is supposed to like all all have a respect for each other. Like
supposed to. That's the key words.
Well,
and that little key phrase.
I understand.
And the Kim dynasty has not wanted to play ball.
Yeah,
I understand they want to have a defense just in case, but you shouldn't have, or shouldn't be trying to show how far you can shoot your missiles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last thing I read on that was they currently have a missile. They have not tested it, but they announced they have a missile that could possibly even reach New York.
Okay,
that's
New York now.
a farness.
I saw Guam.
They said that.
Now they're saying New York.
That's more recently. Yeah, no, they said it will definitely hit the U.S. Definitely the central U.S. Possibly, the right trajectory could hit like the western side of New York.
And that's if we don't have a defense for it, which we do, though.
Oh, we got plenty of defense.
I feel like they're gonna launch and attack us narrative is like not really accurate. It's not really accurate, I feel like, because I feel like they would go after Japan and South Korea first, right? Other Asiatic powers, other places where there's a huge military presence where we act.
Speaking of
that's why they were talking about Guam, dude. Guam is a massive refueling station out in the Pacific. To cut us off because China and France probably wouldn't let us fly over.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
You were saying,
yeah, Japan was wanting to set up a missile defense system, and Russia and China told them, no, you're not going to do that, which kind of makes sense because that would interfere with them being able to launch missiles, being that Japan's right there. So, I mean, I can see why Japan would want to do that. They're kind of in a very vulnerable spot where they are, surrounded by the people they are.
Also with,
Seoul, too, though.
Kim Jong-un, he likes America. He likes American culture. Mm-hmm. He loves Dennis Rodman. They hang out every once in a while. Yeah. So you can't say that he hates us.
No, they do. They do.
Every time, every time Kim acts up, somebody's like, Dennis Rodman, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, they hang out.
I feel like he likes American culture, but not Americans.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it is.
Put on some weight to look more like, what I hear is to look more like his grandfather.
Oh, I see. They all look very similar. Not just because they're Asian, but that family.
This is another reason. This is another reason for communism, because if you don't think that culture, and in some way thinks that they're not racially superior to everyone else, look at the racial purity. On average, the North Korean child is 6 inches shorter than the South Korean child. And it's like, dude, there's about
That's pretty bad.
I mean, I heard this on NPR, so it's true.
I mean, yeah. I'm not discounting what you're saying. I believe it 100%. It is North Korea. It's just crazy though to think and I was watching something about this today, which they were citing sources that I did not look at because I was at work, but I was listening to basically something in the background playing, and they were talking about all the anti-American propaganda they have. Not necessarily the culture, like you said. He does enjoy our culture, but just Americans. Apparently, we're all just these abusive hate mongers that want to kill Korea at all points in time, and that's all we think about is destroying North Korea.
It's not lying. It's not a lie.
No, yeah, but
we don't want to destroy Korea. We want to destroy communism.
Exactly. But what kind of blew my mind is there was this girl who, she's an escapee from North Korea, but she was saying when I was younger and I was in math class, they taught us, if you have 4 American bastards and you kill 2 American bastards, how many do you have left to kill? And she would have to respond, I have to kill 2 American bastards, or else she'd be wrong if she didn't word it like that. And I just didn't think it was that ingrained that it would be in, math class.
Yeah, but you see those videos, and then you see somebody that chimes in with "This is propaganda."
Yeah,
that's not true.
Isn't everything propaganda?
Everything
Doesn't
online.
Everything turn into propaganda.
Apparently, old Kim didn't golf a perfect game.
He invented golf. That's what it was.
Apparently
he said he invented golf. Like, that's what kills
Scottish.
He invented golf by golfing a perfect 18.
And then he no longer needed to play. But apparently that's propaganda. Apparently they don't say that shit.
Oh, really?
No, absolutely no pee, no poop.
Oh.
I've heard that.
Huh.
That reminds me
just
of...
no, he doesn't go to the bathroom because that's dirty and he's pure.
Oh, kind of like people say, women don't poop, women don't fart.
Yeah, except for it was the leader, the almighty leader.
Well, let's move on from North Korea and the negative shit. Have you guys seen any movies recently?
No, because I'm poor. But I almost went and saw Spider-Man last night, and we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, are you watching any TV shows or anything?
Okay, so basically how I consume media is I either play a game or I watch countless hours of YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Just everything I can on YouTube.
Okay.
And
so that's your way of
podcasts related to YouTube. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically it's I get everything through YouTube because everything's on YouTube, you know.
I'm very similar to that.
Mm-hmm. I watch cable, but it's easier for me being at a job that I am, which I work a lot. I can consume short videos, like up to 30 minutes at a time. If I need to pause it, that's fine. I'm not gonna, get lost in thought. Something like a 2-hour movie or something. If I'm watching that, I have to pause it and come back to it an hour later. I'm gonna forget everything that happened halfway through the movie. Exactly. So I can watch like short little podcasts or blurbs or like even I'll watch Chef Ramsay cook food when I'm bored. Learn a new skill, learn how to cook a new meal.
Well, what about you, Evan? Have you watched any new shows or movies?
So I started watching this 9-hour documentary called The Cuba Libre Story.
Oh,
Jesus.
9 hours.
9 hours, buddy. It's on Netflix.
Heavy.
It's on Netflix. Yeah,
okay.
brother.
That's a good...
What's it about?
Interesting one, I'm sure. Damn.
It's about Cuba, dude. And it was made in 2015, so I really feel like it was just made right after we reopened up with Cuba. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not very far into it yet. It's very interesting. It's got a lot of subtitles because it's a lot of Spanish people, a couple of like German or Swiss or what, I can't remember what he was, experts talking.
What do they dive into? Like, what do they go over?
I mean, the whole first episode is about how it was discovered,
Cuba itself.
Yeah, about how it was taken. Well, it wasn't discovered. There was already people there, but it was discovered by the Western world.
Columbus.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Real talk.
There you go.
Whenever he found it, that's whenever he was like, "Hey, can I get some more money so I can go? Because I know there's a whole continent over there." Mm-hmm. So it starts off from that, and then the slave uprising, what truly became known as guerrilla warfare. A lot of Cuba's history is old, but politically not like under 100 years. Okay. Politically, like as far as when changes started happening, because it was a colony for the longest time.
Yeah,
the Spanish colony. And I've been playing a game called Fortnite on PS4. It's a crafting survival game, but it's like
7 days is what Kyle and Kenny have been playing.
A bit. I mean, it's a lot more number crunching. It's like you have 4 tiers of every type of weapon, like basic, heroic, rare, and then epic. I think it's the highest, or maybe legendary or something like that. An expanding world. The more you play,
so like Minecraft.
In a sense, like you have your base and you sit there and build it up, and occasionally you have to do a base defense mission, but otherwise you're out in the world running missions, and it's like a decent grinding kind of game for the most part. Like the combat is not hard. The art style is pretty good looking if you're like a fan of Overwatch. But it's, I don't know, I guess it's just meant to be like a daily grinder.
Okay.
It's fun. I'd say it's comparable to Destiny, but I feel like it probably has less shooter elements than Destiny and more metagame elements. Well, not necessarily metagame, but getting schematics for weapons and then leveling up those schematics and then crafting those weapons and shit like that. You level up heroes, you level up your squads who gather resources for you. You send people on missions that take like 9 hours. You know, it's... Yeah, the first game that I played that was like that was Metal Gear Solid 5, and in ways this is like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Yeah, because I've been wondering about that game. It looked interesting.
Like you rescue survivors, and that's kind of like whenever you kidnap the people and
pick them up,
Metal Gear,
them away
with the parachute.
I can't remember. Fulton Recovery.
Is that the game?
Yeah, it's called it's called the Fulton Recovery System. I think Fulton has something to do with beds because you knock them out, and then you send them away.
Yeah. Well, I recently saw 2 movies since the last podcast. First movie I saw, which was it for a screening? Kyle won. Kyle in the group. Not Kyle. Sorry, Kenny. He won a thing for music. I guess I forgot. I don't remember too much. But it was for the movie Annabelle. So we got there.
Oh, okay.
Saw Annabelle like 4 days before it came out. If you're a fan of Conjuring, I know we discussed that in the last podcast with Josh. But if you're a fan of Conjuring or Annabelle series, it all ties in together. Great horror movie. I had a lot of jump scares, a lot of scary moments. The villain was actually a lot better looking than the one from Sinister, the little red Darth Maul dude. You actually see a fucking scary motherfucker in this. So yeah, if you like horror movies, that's a good horror movie to see. And then another movie I saw was Dunkirk. Gorgeous movie. Wow. Christopher Nolan knows how to set up a scene. Wow.
Shooting those 70 millimeter shots, man.
Yeah, that's what I saw it in. It's based off the reel. A lot of people are like, oh, you watch digital now, so it doesn't have issues with the reel. But I liked it. It was cool. But yeah, so there's 2 World War II movies that recently came out. There's Hacksaw Ridge, made by Mel Gibson. And then there's Dunkirk, made by Christopher Nolan. Now, if you want more action-based, single point of view person, see Hacksaw Ridge. It's a lot more action, a lot more violence. Freaking Mel Gibson, so it's gonna be bloody as shit. Christopher Nolan, if you're looking for drama, great scenes, see Dunkirk. Both were great in my opinion. Even though people were saying Hacksaw Ridge was, he doesn't want to shoot a gun. He's a Christian boy. I looked past that. It was still a good movie. But
check it out.
Check it out, definitely. We're pretty much getting to the time where we should cut off. So, is there any closing thoughts you have, Mark? Or anything you want to discuss? No pressure or anything, just asking.
Let's see. Being an adult sucks, but at the same time, it's pretty cool. You get to buy your own beer. That's pretty nice. Yeah. Hey, cheers to that, fellas.
Yes, cheers.
Also, it's hot as shit, and I hate the summer. The coast is horrible. And don't come to Mississippi if you've never been here, because it doesn't...
Because what?
It sucks, and there's too much humidity to survive.
Oh.
It says it's 88 degrees outside, and it feels like 106. So,
Well,
humidity sucks, man.
we'd have very little humidity unless if it rains in Arizona. And it's about 98 degrees, but it's dry. So it's okay. It's hot, but not wet. So it's kind of like a trade-off. Do you like dry heat or wet heat? I don't know.
yeah, well,
I prefer dry.
Wet here, it always rains, and I live at the beach, so it's always wet.
Do you at least get like some type of breeze, or is it? Oh, it's warm over there, huh? That's a warm ocean.
No, very.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Gulf, yeah.
So it's ass. So if you come to Mississippi, be careful. Be ready for a sucktastic time.
I would love to. I need to come out there. Hopefully sometime in the winter to go to Louisiana. Hang out with Evan and the boys. Get something going.
House, I'll hit up Evan's house.
Okay, because I'm thinking maybe sometime December, if it works out with you, Evan. I don't know. We'll discuss that later time. But guys, I do appreciate listening to this podcast as always. We do have some things to go over at the end of the show, where I'll discuss some things that's going on, like the Patreon and whatnot. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I am TJ Wasiuk.
I'm Evan O'Neill.
And I'm Marc Rowell.
We love you, and good night. Hey everybody, this is TJ here. Just want to give you a big thank you for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. Just a few reminders. We do have an Instagram account, so if you do have Instagram, please give us a follow on there. We also have a Facebook page, so if you haven't already done so, please give us a like. Every time we see new likes and new follows, brings us a smile. Now, we also have a shout out to one of our friends, Anthony LaMonica. Can you tell us a little about that, Evan?
That's right, man. At thewildoutdoorsman.com, you can find all sorts of goodies that you need for hunting, camping, fishing. They got a pretty good archery selection. They got some cool little custom knives and watches and stuff. And they're also having, they have sort of giveaways from time to time. So check them out, thewildoutdoorsman.com.
And also, if you like what we're doing and want to support us, we do have t-shirts, any size, any color. Just let Evan or I know. And this concludes this week's podcast. Having a small talk.
Two guys having a small talk.